Welcome to the TV Movie Mistress Reading Corner. It's been a while. It's a snow day here in the East Coast. And what inspires a snow day, or what fits better to go along with a snow day if not books? So I am here to show you guys all the books that I currently have on my table. Books I am currently reading, books I'm rereading, and books that I have to now read. Um, I've basically just been buying a lot of books on pre-order, so a lot of them came. And then I just have books on my shelf that I have not read yet. But let's start with what I'm currently reading, my favorite thing of all time. The thing that brings me joy. The thing that gives me dopamine and makes me feel like, oh, it's okay. Maybe hope exists. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, currently reading The Long Game by Rachel Reed. If you follow my podcast, you know that I have covered and talked to an extent about Heated Rivalry. It is a show that was produced by Crave Channel in Canada, and HBO picked it up. I've been in love with it ever since. It's currently a 6-book series, so the show is based off book 1 and 2. I picked up book 1 and 6, which has the current characters. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the scraping of snow going on. Maybe that will add charm and ambiance. Right? Right, buddy? Okay, back to books. So you can hear me talk about the show ad nauseum on the podcast, in the Facebook group. Life is just Heated Rivalry. Anyway, I'm currently reading the second book in the Shane and Ilya story, and this is like after they've kind of like acknowledged they're in love with each other, that like they're in a committed relationship, guys. But now it's like, how do we break it to the world? And all of that nonsense. And it's been really good. It's definitely strong, stronger emotions. There's a lot more emotion in this chapter of their story because they were young and dumb in this one. Now they sort of have like prefrontal lobe that has been formed, and just a quick snippet. It's essentially like they've been keeping their relationship a secret for so long, but we're seeing what the effects of that looks like for Ilya and for Shane. And it's kind of a test to their relationship. But yeah, no, I've been slowing down reading it because I don't want to be done with it yet. But I'm just gonna power through today and finish. It's gonna be so sad. I believe, yeah, that should be in one of the books. Yes. Yes, okay. I have Common Goal, which will be the next, so that's perfect. Okay, so my currently being read, Long Game, my reread list, Heated Rivalry, so like this is the book 1 of this, no, Game Changer is book 1, Heated Rivalry is book 2, but the first book about Shane and Ilya, so I'm rereading that on the side. Currently reading, have not finished. I think I've got probably about 50 pages left. Currently reading The Long Game, which is a continuation of Ilya and Shane's story. And then I will read Common Goal, which is about 2 completely different characters from the series. This one is about Eric and Kyle. It's a friends with benefits arrangement with a much younger man, which leaves them both wanting more. So, I'm sure you guys can see the cover. So that's what I'm going to read next in the Rachel Reed Heated Rivalry series. What else am I rereading? Heaven Official's Blessing, my favorite book series ever. The plan was to continue with book 2. Not to say I hate book 2, but book 2 in this series is probably my least favorite. I was struggling reading that book. Like, it's taken so long, and I just gave up, and I was like, I want to go read book 3, because book 3 is just like, book 2 is the present, but not much happens, and it's kind of boring, and I don't like the language style and all of that. But book 3, now if you don't remember, or if you just don't know, Heaven Official's Blessing is a story about Shelly-Ann. He's a god that has ascended 3 times. His life is terrible. And then you got Hua-Chang, who is like a devoted follower of his, like through like centuries. And the book just goes through like all these lives that Shelly-Ann has lived. Because Shelly-Ann starts out the story as a very idyllic prince, where it's like good equals good, bad equals bad. Everything's pretty much black and white. And then he ascends to the heavens, and once he ascends to the heavens, like things that he should not concern himself with in the mortal realm, he finds really hard to do. So the first book starts in the present, in like year 800 of him being a god. This book sort of goes and starts, book 3, starts the story of his fall from God to man. After he ascends in book 3, like stuff starts happening with his kingdom, and he's like, that's my people, I have to go help them. And that's not something you as a god are allowed to do. Once you've ascended, you leave mortal worries to themselves, so on and so forth. But Shelly-Ann is still alive and a god in the time that his parents are alive. So book 3, again, rereading. But, okay, here's the synopsis. God should never meddle in the affairs of mortals, but Shelly-Ann is not one to follow the rules when lives are at risk. He spits in the face of heaven and its laws, and descends in a fury to save his country from drought and civil war. Now, essentially, what ends up happening in this kingdom is there's like a drought in like the other half of the kingdom, and those people migrate to the capital, and the capital folks are like, nah, we're not doing this. So it's kind of a story of, these are all my people, but they're fighting and killing each other, and there is no morally right. It's just terrible human decisions, and that's one of my favorite thing about this series, is not to see things as black and white, but just that there's a lot of other things that contribute to that. This book also starts, it introduces us more to Chi-Rong, who, if you've read the first book or seen the first 2 seasons, he's like a terrible ghost god, and you see him being a terrible human brat in this. So that starts, like, he's just been a cranky son of a gun for a very long time. Okay, so let me continue the synopsis of the book. Yet this golden child gets a harsh dose of reality when he discovers just how little one individual, even a god, can do to save a crumbling nation. As the people reject and betray him, one young soldier stands by Shelly-Ann, a boy with a face wrapped in bandages and a fierce loyalty in his heart. In this chaotic past, can an unshakable bond grow from the ashes of unimaginable destruction? And again, I'm rereading this book. It's about 400 pages. So beautiful. I was like, yeah, this is the Heaven Official's Blessings I came for. There's so many, like, I do, like, I am that person who jots notes. Oh, here's one. I wrote, immigration, unable to see the other natural disaster. Okay, so, like, I'll just give a quick clip of this. I'll do a Heaven Official's Blessings book review all on its own. But like I stated earlier, one of the problems is, like, one half of the kingdom is suffering. They've now migrated to the capital, and once they arrive, everybody in the capital is like, oh, all those people are stealing. They're causing stuff. They're, just like the normal fear mongering, and it leads to the kingdom deciding to just expel all these people who don't belong. And when they expel them, people are like, if we keep going, we will die. So how about we just start attacking you from outside the Capitol gates? And let me see. As much as it displeased the people of the imperial capital, the refugees were still citizens of the same country. In light of the ongoing disaster, they tolerated the strangers' presence. But they would then say stuff like, don't you know how to behave when you're living in other people's territories? Yeah, you're a guest in our home, but you've made yourself real comfortable, haven't you, thieves? And then like the other side, like we already told you we didn't steal anything. So it's this is sweet. This is just heartbreaking. And there are days I will read both of them together. This helps me fall asleep better. But Jesus Christ, this hurts my feelings on a fundamental level, and this brings a little bit of hope to it. So that's the other book I'm currently rereading. Now, all the books I've told myself I will read. Follow me here. This is book 3 in the Yes, No, Maybe series. I've read the first 2, really enjoyed it. It's a cute, like, manga, but, like, words. I don't know what you call that. But it's followed 2 characters. One is a newscaster who's very, like, he masks like a motherfucker, which, dear to my heart. He's very reserved about who he is. He lives life with, like, this very calculating and false outward ex persona. He meets Yushio, and Yushio is a creative. He's much more like, he kind of sees beyond the mask, and Kei allows him to see beyond the mask. And they've been together for 2 years now, and it's just like a slice of life of like, one's a reporter and one's like an art guy. They like each other, but then there's like the outside world, and I always like stories like that. And this is book 3, I believe it's the final in the series. And in this, Kei starts to realize that he's not the only one who could use a shoulder to lean on. What is Yushio hiding? And then there's also like, supposedly, because everybody on the outside thinks like Kei is like the best, like, oh my god, you're so proper, and inside he's just like, I wish you all would die. That's why I like him. His inner thoughts are hilarious because he's very prim and proper on the outside, and folks are like, you're so helpful and you're the best and you're such a hard worker, and on the inside he's like, yeah, I know you guys are dumb. It's just like, Kei, Kai, like, be nicer. Okay, this is another book that I've had on the list that I have not read. I've had this in the library probably since summertime. This is book 2 of the Aeneid series. I literally bought this book on the art because I was just like, this is beautiful. But it's such a problematic book. Um, it's it's Egyptian. It's a lot of Egyptian incest. Um, this is the synopsis. The first 3 for this book anyway. The first 3 of matches for the throne of Egypt has begun. Who will last the longest underwater without breathing? Horus may be determined, but he is no god. And Seth has both cunning and divine stamina on his side. Meanwhile, Isis has plans of her own to help her son. But will they be enough to ensure his victory? Now, book 1 did a lot of like background work on gods and like who's responsible for what and who was in charge and who was the first and all of that. Oh, like, this is just ultimately a book that just has gorgeous visuals. Like, that's honestly what I'm here for the most. The story, like, I think this is like an 8 series book. Seems very convoluted, but I love the art style. I think it's just gorgeous. Like, I'm here just to read it because it's so pretty. Again, I'm on book 2 of the series. I'm not rushing this, but I feel like it is good. And every time I finish it, despite its problematic themes, I do want to continue reading it. So this needs to be read. Okay, Next book. I'm going to try and get through these books a little bit quicker now. Let me resalivate. This one was a book I just bought because I like the title. Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. There you go. Hopefully you guys can see it. Really lovely cover. This was a special edition, which means I get pictures. Chibis. If there's anybody out there who's like a professional chibi maker, please let me know because I want somebody to make a professional chibi of me. So, like, holler. It's a pretty artwork. But anyway, you're like, what's the story there? Why are you showing me pictures? I don't know these people. They've kind of overdone this art style. Okay. Cute. Okay, so what is Thrice Married to a Salted Fish about? 10 years of exhaustive study and sleepless nights have suddenly been rendered meaningless for an aspiring imperial physician, Lin Qingyu. Okay, he's been instructed to marry Lu Wancheng, the sickly. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that's Lu Wancheng, and this is the guy who was studying for like the imperial exams, and now like he has to like marry the sixth son of this marquis in the hopes that this union will heal the illness that plagues the young master. So it's like a luck marriage. Like some people believe like other people have like good karma. So if you like marry them, like it'll help you somehow. Sure. However, Lin Qingyu quickly discovers Lu Wancheng isn't just an ill-fated aristocrat. In fact, the man has a mysterious sixth sense that could help Lin Qingyu help maneuver anyone, even royalty. Oh, my man's smart. Okay, so he proposes an idea to his new male bride, one that will help send Lin Qingyu back home to continue his studies and fulfill his dreams. Yet, as feelings bloom between these new allies, a dark truth threatens to rip them apart in both sickness and in health. Okay. There's no inner pictures. Oh wait, there's one. Wow, they really like on a budget here. So aspiring guy marries sick guy. Sick guy is smarter than he seems. They catch feelings. Okay. That, and this is the author. My bad. Let me be Kabi. Next, this one is definitely up my lane. It's titled Mistakenly Saving the Villain. I love books like that. So this is a synopsis that got me. Not everyone is meant to be saved. When medical student Song Qingxi dies and wakes up in a historical fantasy novel, he's tasked with rescuing the tragic protagonist from a life of misery. There's just one problem. He has no idea who the protagonist is. Instead of saving the hero, he accidentally rescues Yu Wuhan, an enslaved man renowned for his striking beauty and trained in the art of seduction. Ooh. Okay, now determined to help his traumatized new patient heal, Song Qingxi offers everything he can: medicine, therapy, emotional support, even a shared bed. Because that's how that works. But Yu Wuhan wants more than healing. He wants revenge, and most of all, he wants Song Qingxi for himself. Okay. I like that. Do we have any pictures in here? What are we up to? Oh, that's ridiculously pretty. That reminds me of like the anime art style from back in the early 2000s. Let's see what else is in here. Like, I love this because this is kind of helping me decide like the order I'm going to read this in. Hopefully you guys can see this. But yeah, I'm definitely going to read this before Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. This one I'm actually currently reading. I just stopped reading it when I started reading Rachel Reed. He lost him once, he won't let it happen again. So this is a reborn story. I'm sure you guys can see it properly. You've got Prince Cheng, who lives this life. He's married to this guy. He treats him horribly. He's like, I hate you. And he it's kind of the trope of the reborn story where he eventually realizes like the person he was mean to was the person who was the nicest to him all along. So when he dies and he's reborn, he's like, no, my boo comes first this time. So he comes back and he is just like, no one else matters. I'm going to right my wrongs. I'm not going to trust these villains. I'm not going to be as dumb. So, like in his previous life, Prince Chang pursued power and countless lovers, but Mu Hanjiang never wavered in his dedication as his wife, despite the future he lost. Like he was studying to become like an official in the court, but when he married him, he had to become a wife. And I love how the story breaks down how a man is able to like marry into a home with female wives and concubines. It's very interesting. It's like, oh well, he can't be in the woman's quarters per se. He's got to be in the side room in the study next to the guy because he's a guy. So I like that the author being Chi Wei Sheng. Okay. Wait, so this is different from this. So is this? Okay, my bad then. So I don't know. What did I just read before? Anyway, so this is Feng Yuni. My bad, guys. Okay, now I had B to B right. Okay. So, yeah. So, because of this, once he comes back, he's like, no, I'm going to treat my boo nice. I'm going to listen to my boo, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to try not to get killed by bad decisions. So, this I am currently reading. I have to go back to it and continue. It's very slice of life. I'm just like, not much is happening other than him kind of like simping after his wife. The plotting hasn't started yet. Final book I've got for you guys is After the Disabled Ward. After the Disabled God of War Became My Concubine by Li Guhai. Li Guhai. Apologies if I'm saying that incorrectly. Bam, there's the cover. Trying to see if there's any pictures for you guys. Oh, it's not about. Okay, that's interesting. Kind of like, hope you guys can see that. Okay. What's the story about? A professor turned prince, a general turned concubine. An outrageous thesis has just hit the desk of esteemed history professor Jiang Xiaoyu. Dubiously sourced is the story of General Hou Zhu, a man who was captured, incapacitated, and forced to serve as a concubine to his enemy's brother. Okay. The cut-sleeve prince who enjoyed men in his bed. For 3 grueling years. Okay, so a professor gets the story of a cut-sleeve prince who lived as a prisoner until he escaped and sought vengeance against his tormentors. Convinced the story is pure fiction, he brands the thesis a failure. That is, until he wakes up as the cut-sleeve prince himself. Now stuck lording over his concubine and prisoner, Jiang Xiaozhu only has one option to avoid facing the general's future wrath: ally himself. Still, the strategy could backfire. Okay, that's okay. So this is a transmigration novel. I love the cover. That's really pretty. Back. Make sure you guys can see it. So it's a professor being like, this story is trash, which is the fastest way to get transmigrated into a novel. But he's now going to be in a novel as a cut sleeve prince, and the person he's going to have to find a way to ally himself with this Wu Ju. So interesting. Okay, so let's wrap that up. We're getting on 25 minutes, and this is good. So currently reading The Wife Comes First, The Long Game. What I'm rereading, Heated Rivalry, Heaven Official's Blessing, Book 3, to be read next. Oh, Amazon, you bitch. Oh, it might have been Walmart. I'm not sure. Anyway. Oh, it might have been me. Let me be quiet. Next book to be read, Common Goal. I like this one. Mistake Only Saving the Villain. The next four is going to be, I know which one is going to be last. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this one next. Yes, no, or maybe. Book 3. The thing is, this is a quick read. I read book 1 at the beach in like an hour. Because again, a lot of it is pictures. So I could bang this out really quick if I just focus. So I'll put that there. After the Disabled God of War became my concubine. And then last to read, I have determined will be this. Unless you can convince me why I should speed this up on the list. But yeah, that's all the books that's currently in my life. These are all just fun books. These are all just fun books. These are just for fun. And sometimes we need that. But if you've read any of these, let me know which one you read. If you liked it, if there's any you saw and you're like, girl, don't waste your time, please let me know now. Trying to see what else. Yeah. Rereading, to be read, currently reading. Books are great. Books are great, man. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. Again, there will be more videos upcoming. I'm getting my life together. My feelings are no longer as hurt after the multiple strikes last year. And then also like YouTube was like all those hours you racked up to like become like paid for this, we're taking them away. So I'm basically starting back from the beginning, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. Gotta love the game. Got to love the game. But it also reminded me, why am I doing this? I'm not really doing this to be monetized. It would be lovely. It would be a great bonus. I gamify my life, so that's why I like the idea. But ultimately, it's to share all the nonsense I'm reading with you guys. And if you guys read the same nonsense, it's not nonsense. I take that back. If you guys read the same books as me, please let me know. Okay? That's all I've got. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and we'll share books.